Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that when we look at episode 9, one of the big things that a lot of people are really looking forward to seeing in this movie is, of course, the Jedi Master himself, Luke Skywalker, being portrayed by Mark Hamill once more in this film by JJ. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. So, let's examine episode 9. Now, we do know that J.J. Abrams wants to do something very special for the character of Luke by going through a couple of flashbacks, showing us, his past life between himself, Ben Solo, and of course, other, relatives like Leia, and friends like Han Solo, and a whole lot more. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art, and storyboard descriptions, etc. However, what's really exciting has all to do with Mark Hamill and Adam Driver. Now, specifically, it's described that one of the scenes that were shot included Mark Hamill on the set over in Cardington. The set was described to have a lot of grass with a green screen in the background. It's described that Hamill was fighting Adam Driver in a lightsaber duel. One sequence involved Driver running toward Hamill with a blue lightsaber, which indicates that this is more of a training scene between both Ben and Luke. It's described to be a sequence to show Luke recognizing the darkness within Ben for the very first time, and is described to be an action-heavy sequence for Luke. It said that Hamill was using a green lightsaber and clashing sabers with Adam on set. It said the scene involved Luke with no beard and was just in a brown Jedi robe, where Adam was in a white Jedi uniform. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this and as to why I am really excited about what's coming our way for the character of Luke in this movie. It really seems as though that J.J. Abrams wants to deliver his own version of Luke Skywalker where he's the more hopeful Jedi, right? He's not the Jedi that's lost on an island or, pretty much lost in depression or anything around those lines. J.J. Abrams wants to pretty much revisit the more, I guess you could say, optimistic Jedi that we never really got to see in the sequel trilogy as of yet per se. So seeing that as, a part of episode 9 coming into play here, I think is fantastic. Now, this is the moment in which Luke Skywalker recognizes the darkness inside of his nephew for the very first time. Now, what's really intriguing about this is that this would be the first visual of what Luke Skywalker was talking about in The Last Jedi by Rian Johnson. So in that flashback in episode 8, Mark Hamill has said, I've seen it in moments during his training. We never got to see the training between both Luke and Ben, and that's exactly what JJ wants to explore. So this is described to be an action-heavy sequence. Both Adam and Mark Hamill filmed this over at, of course, Cardington, a big hangar that they used for a lot of the different scenes in episode 9. So, this scene in particular, they used both green and blue lightsabers, where it's described that Hamill had no beard, because they're most likely de-aging him in this scene, and they actually had them dressed in a brown Jedi robe for Mark, and a white Jedi uniform for, of course, Adam Driver as Kylo Ren, which we got a little glimpse of that uniform in The Last Jedi. I will say that it was really nice to see Ben Solo, in a Jedi outfit. It's very surreal to get stuff like that in the sequel trilogy, right? It seems like if you look at the sequels, right, that whole entire aspect of Star Wars is either used sparingly or is only teased. And so JJ really wants to revisit that aspect, that angle of the Star Wars franchise again in episode 9 in his own way. And that's the great thing here, is that Mark Hamill, say what you will about his performance as Luke in The Last Jedi, that was just the direction of the movie by Rian. If you guys either, dislike or like the movie, that's perfectly fine. But when we look at episode 9, JJ wants to deliver a totally different version of Luke Skywalker. So a lot of him, inserting Luke is going to be in the form of flashbacks, where the Force ghost of Luke is more around, going to be more around the lines of being used sparingly. So I think that, looking at this and what's coming our way in the future, this whole entire action scene between both Ben and Luke, where they're clashing lightsabers, against each other, on this grassy world, which by the way most likely is Luke's training temple, that mysterious world that we only got a little glimpse of in episode 8. So that's why I'm so excited about this movie. That's why I'm so fascinated about it, is because we do know that this movie is also going to be used as a selling point in order to really get the young audience, the young fans or new fans, familiar with of course the legacy characters. We're talking Luke, Leia, Lando, Han, Chewbacca, you name it. They want to get new fans familiar with those characters, and a big theme of this movie is going to be featuring these characters in a very different light, and I think that's one ambitious thing by JJ and what he's trying to do with this movie. So it's great to know that Mark has an action scene or a couple of action sequences in this movie in order to really make up for the lightsaber duel that we did not get to see between both, of course, Luke and, of course, Kylo Ren. Now, mind you, this is a training session, so we'll have to wait and see exactly how it plays out. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.